Tonight, it's part two of my interview with the Senate Majority Leader Loretta Weinberg. She's been a political force for years, and now, much to her surprise, finds herself fighting a battle that she thought was won years ago, the battle for women's reproductive rights.
And it's growing to be a bigger concern because we see a national effort to undermine women's health care. It happened right in New Jersey this past year when the current budget, when the governor took out $7.5 million that was earmarked for women's health, just stripped out of the budget. We passed putting it back into the budget. The governor vetoed that, and we couldn't get enough votes because no Republican would vote to override the governor's veto. Now, Planned Parenthood provides all kinds of health services in addition to abortion services, birth control. Don't we want people to not have unplanned pregnancies? They do screening for mammograms, cervical cancer, all kinds of issues that involve women's health, particularly poor women who don't have private insurance or don't have a place to go. And they are sometimes the very first health center that a college woman goes to.
Well, let me ask you this. They have been around for a considerable period of time. The services they offer have been in place for a long time as well. What has happened in our politics and in our society that suddenly has made them the center of the bullseye?
And there are many, many good Republicans, many of them I know in the legislature, but there is this mindset that has taken place in the Republican Party from the ultra-right wing, and one of the places that they seem to be aiming is at women. They want to take away women's reproductive rights. They want to take away a woman's right to choose. You know, this has moved even a little further than abortion. They're now talking about birth control.
But politically, tell me how that group with that philosophy, which has been around for a long time, and it's no secret about what they've believed for a long time. They've been open. They've been fighting this battle since Roe versus Wade, and in terms of contraception, long before that as well.
Right.
So have the Democrats failed in their political prowess to repulse that? Has the Republican Party capitulated to that?
I think the Republican Party has capitulated to it. That's my vision or my version. I am not a Republican, and I'm not in their strategy.
Is
but
there
I
no
believe
common ground that could be found to
Yes.
reconcile these differences?
Yeah, in terms of Planned Parenthood, the federal money that's given, the state money that's given, can only be used for health services. It cannot be used for abortion. So we already found that middle ground. Having said all of that, I think that we need more Republicans to be standing up. I was quite overwhelmed at watching what happened with the Susan B. Komen Foundation over the last week. First, their ill-thought-out decision to take money away from Planned Parenthood, and then the immediate reaction to that nationwide from thousands upon thousands of people. I wish we'd had that right here in New Jersey when the governor did it.
Let me ask you this, because openness in government notwithstanding, you all in Trenton will have conversations, or, you know, here at home in the home district, and you talk to Republicans. Are there people on the other side of the aisle who would like to be where you are politically on this vote?
Absolutely.
And tell you that they can't because?
They're absolutely, and that makes me, see, I don't have a problem with the people who really have a deep-seated philosophic belief and have been consistent in their votes. But I do have a problem with the people who I know don't believe this and are capitulating to whatever the governor perceived to be necessary for whatever his national political aspirations were when we had this fight over women's health. Most of those good Republicans voted for this women's health line item.
But if I'm not mistaken, the governor did choose a lieutenant governor who had a pro-choice background. So what does that tell you about him?
Well, that tells me that the governor demands a lot of loyalty. And as I've often said, the only way that you have dictatorships is if people enable him. So if all those good people in the Republican Party stood up, we wouldn't be talking about this in this manner today. And I would hope that they realize by looking at what happened with the Komen Foundation that there is a strong belief. They undermine as if women are not able to make decisions for themselves. You know, you need a 48-hour or 24-hour waiting period. You know, if you went in to have a vasectomy, they wouldn't be telling you those things. And it's as if they have no confidence in women's ability to make decisions. We make all the decisions about our family's health care by and large. We are the ones who make our sons and daughters or spouses or significant others go to the doctors for checkups. We make good health decisions. And we, by and large, have the ability to make good health decisions about ourselves. When we want to have children, when we want to enlarge our families, when we don't want to.
But the power to be able to make those decisions comes at the ballot box, and you got to get the votes.
Exactly, and I think this is now, it's an issue that I thought I had fought for in another era of my life and was finished fighting for, but that's obviously not true anymore.
What did the man say years ago? The price of freedom is eternal vigilance.
That's exactly right.
Senator Weinberg, have to leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Immediately after we finished taping that interview, Senator Weinberg wanted to correct herself, saying that, in fact, there was one Republican senator who did vote with the Democrats last year to override the governor's line-item veto of family planning funds. Jennifer Beck from the 11th District.